Hey guys, another day here. Happy Tuesday. This is like the new Friday for you, it seems. Well, today we're going to start a new lesson, 7.2, solving equations with variables on both sides. And this is a very important lesson because I do this all the time in almost every single math class from here on out. You got variables on both sides, and you got to solve an equation like this. All right, so what I'm talking about is like you see how there's a variable here, and here's the equal sign, and the other side of the equal sign has a variable on it too. Alright, so they're on both sides of the equal sign. Alright, so here is basically three basic steps you want to keep in mind when you're doing these equations. Alright, first you want to try to simplify each side of the equal sign first by combining like terms and distributing. Now, like notice in our example here, there's no like terms, there's no distributing. So for most of the problems in this lesson, you're skipping step one. All right, on to step two. Step two is the critical one here. You want to move a variable term to the left side of the equation or the right side by adding or subtracting it. Okay, so you want to move the whole variable term. You don't want to leave like x behind. You want to move 6x. Or you want to move 4x. In fact, you can move either or of them, okay? So you can move the one on the right or you can move the one on the left. It's easier if you move the one that will avoid giving you a negative coefficient, negative number in front of the variable, coefficient. Remember that vocab word? All right, so in this one, what would you move? The 6x or the 4x to avoid the negative coefficient? All right, well, in this one, if you want to avoid the negative coefficient, you need to move the 4x, okay? And you have to use inverse operations, which means you have to undo how it's attached here, okay? So this is, you're moving the whole term, and it's connected by addition, okay? Because you could rewrite this whole side as negative 5 plus 4x. So you're trying to really get rid of the plus 4x. So in order to get rid of the positive 4x, you need to subtract 4x from both sides first. Okay, so that's your very first step. And then draw a line, and then you can cancel out this side, and then bring down the negative 5. All right? And then on this side, you're going to do 6x minus 4x, which is 2x, plus 15 equals negative 5. All right? After that, you just do a two-step equation, okay? So you see here's the two-step, classic two-step example where you need to undo, oh boy, I better fix this in a hurry here before you guys fire me. All right, you need to undo addition or subtraction first and then undo multiplication or division next, okay? So hopefully you weren't confused by that there. All right, so anyhow, so like in this two-step here, you would subtract 15 from both sides first. Okay, and I'm kind of running out of room here, but you know, try to make sure you have enough room to show your work on your homework here. Don't be trying to do it mentally because that's just silly and you're just not doing what I want you to if you're doing your problems mentally and not showing steps, okay? All right, so we have negative 5 minus 15. All right, so that is two negatives, so you're going to add them. That's negative 20, divide by 2, and then x is equal to negative 10. All right, so that's it for that particular one. All right, so let me show you how you can check real quick that x is equal to negative 10 to see if your answer is right. All right, so what I did here is I substituted in place of this x, negative 10, and in place of this other x, negative 10. Okay, and there's a little question mark in the middle because we really don't know if this is equal, so I put a question mark there. All right, so then you want to evaluate each side and make sure you get the same number on each side of the equation. So you'd have negative 60 plus 15. This side would give you a negative 45. All right, and over here you have negative 40 minus 5. All right, so since they both have a negative sign, you'd add the two numbers. You know, you're really actually subtracting, but you're adding the numbers and keeping the sign, okay? So yes, you get the same number on both sides, and that checks that you've got it right. All right, let's check out example 2 here. Okay, so in this one, okay, I have the choice either to subtract 9x first or subtract 3x first. All right, and so in order to avoid having an extra negative number in the problem, it's going to be easier to subtract 3x first. All right, so 3x minus 3x is equal to 0. I'd have negative 24 on this side equals 6x minus 12. Okay, so that's the move the variables to one side of the equation step. And now you have a two-step equation. So you undo addition and subtraction first. Undo that minus, so we're adding 12. Okay. And we're going to cancel the negative 12 and 12. Negative 24 plus 12. That's equal to, you have more negatives, so negative 12. Bring down the 6x. And then you divide by 6. Okay, and so you have negative 12 divided by 6. Your answer is negative 2. All right, and then you can check it the same way. All right, so I want you guys to try this one, and hopefully you'll get the right answer. We'll see. All right, so in this one, okay, you have that choice again, subtract 9x or subtract 5x. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 5x in this one. Okay, now if you subtracted 9x, you could still get the right answer. It's just you'd have to work with a negative sign here instead of a positive sign. You get negative 4x on the left side, but you see here I'm going to get a positive 4x. Okay, the 5x minus the 5x is equal to 0. I bring down my negative 6x on the left side. Okay, I bring down the 14 as well. Okay, and then after this, it's that good old two-step. So to undo plus, I subtract. I'm subtracting 14 on both sides. Sorry about my line getting crooked there. Negative 6 minus 14. Signs are the same, so I'm adding the numbers, keeping the sign. All right, those are gone, so I have 4x equals negative 20. Divide by 4. And I get my final answer as negative 5 is equal to x, or x equals negative 5. Okay, little commercial break, and we're back. Just got to keep on going here. Yay, more math. All right, so this one is a little bit harder now because we got decimals involved. And also, if you notice, there are two y terms on the left side of the equal sign. So your very first step needs to be what I have as my first steps here. Okay, so remember these are the steps you want to go with. You want to simplify each side before you start moving your variable term. Okay, so you want to combine like terms here first. All right, so combine the like terms. On this particular side. Don't add the 5.6y in here, okay? So 96 is not the like term. All right, so combine these two right here. Okay, so since they both have a minus sign in front of them, okay, you are adding the numbers, keeping the sign, okay? So that would become 7.7y, okay? And this is equal to 5.6y plus 42.8. So that was our first step. Now we're on to the second step, which is moving the variable terms all to one side. So I'm going to switch colors here just to show you what's going on here. All right, so you have two choices. You could either move the 5.6y or move the minus 7.7y. Okay, so once again, I want to, it's easier to avoid negatives. So if I subtract here, I'm going to have a bunch of negatives over here. However, if I want to move this term, I undo this subtraction with addition. So I'm adding 7.7y. And that's a lot easier than having all those negatives to deal with in my mind. All right, so draw a line here. And this side, this cancels. You'll have 96 equals All right, let's see what we get here. 6 plus 7 is 13. Carry the 1, 12, 13. Okay, so we have 13.3y, and we have 42.8 there. Okay. Now, this 0.80, I'm not sure why they kept that 0.80 there. All right, now we got to do a two-step, just a two-step with decimals. A little bit tricky, but not too bad. So if you're doing a two-step with decimals, you want to, and you don't have a calculator, you want to make sure to line up your decimal point here. Okay, because if you don't, you're going to get it wrong. All right, so we're going to borrow from the 6, it becomes a 5, that becomes a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2, 5 minus 2 is 3, 9 minus 4 is 5. All right, so you have 13.3y, and then we're going to divide both sides by 13.3 to get our final answer. So I use this little bar here now as division, okay? This is not the next step bar, this is division bar. Okay, so I'm canceling out with division, and I believe that is 4. Let me just double check, make sure it's 4. Yep. Okay, so we got y equals 4. So that is that one. All right. So we got one more problem here. And there is a lot more examples that we are going to go over another day, but here is a one-word problem. The book has all word problems, nothing really concrete like we were going over. All right, so let's see. Teresa earns a weekly salary of $925 and a 5% commission on her total sales. Okay, so we don't know her sales. We know a commission is part of the sales that you get to keep. Ramon earns a weekly salary of $1,250 and a 3% commission on sales. One amount of sales X will result in them earning the same amount for the week. All right, so there's a little bar diagram here, okay, and you know Teresa is on the top bar and Ramon is on the bottom bar. You can see here. Okay, now 5% of her sales would be represented as 0.05 times X. And you're including 925 salary. Salary you get no matter what. Okay, so that's this bar here represents the total amount of money they make, which includes salary and commission. So this is the commission part, and this is the salary part here. Okay, so just put sal on this side. Down here for Ramon, it's the same, okay, but he gets less commission but more salary. So there is a point in time in which these two are actually equal. There's an amount of dollars in which these two are actually equal. And so this is one way you can use an equation when you have variables on both sides, all right? So when you are comparing two things and you're seeing when they are equal, okay, you want to put one thing on one side of the equation and the other thing on the other side of the equation. So think about what the equation would look like. All right, so it would be you're comparing Teresa and Ramon. So you'd have Teresa on one side of the equation and Ramon on the other. Okay, so just think about how would this bar be represented. You have this and this, okay, and you're totaling it, so you're adding it. All right, and so there you go. Here is Teresa's, here is Ramon's, and now we just have to solve this equation with variables on both sides. All right, so we're going to first, what are we going to do first? All right, we want to move the x term from one side to the other side. So I subtracted the 0.03x1 to avoid the negative. All right, so this term here would cancel on the right side. All right, next what I'm going to do here is do the two-step. Subtract 925 from both sides. All right, then divide by 0.02. And I get x is equal to $16,250. So that would be the number of sales they would need to both earn the same. Okay? Okay, guys, this is the last one for the day. And this one, I want you guys to get some paper and pencil and try to figure it out. Just like the last problem, only different numbers here. All right, and then submit your answer, and we will go over the answer on Thursday for it. See you then. God bless, and take care now. Bye-bye.